Hey guys, it's John, small town, small time bookseller, here once again. Yay! And I'm not doing this nearly as often as I would like to, but hopefully that'll change. But I'm here, and this is pretty much what I do. I'll try to sell some books on ye olden eBays, and when I do, I'll come here and I'll tell you all about them. That's pretty much it. So I don't do garage sale videos. I don't do yard sale videos. I don't do the GoPros, the Goodwill bins. Look at my hands. They and the satin wood and Orumbo furniture, the carpets, the hanging bronze candelabrum, the mirrors and sconces, all of a single composition, the design of one illustrious hand, and apparently not so much the other. Nope. I just tell you about the books and the sometimes not books that I sold. This could be a rather lengthy video. I apologize ahead of time for that. I'll try to get through this all as fast as I can, but I did want to leave out one minor sale. Could have, probably should, but I'm not going to. So I've got some notes to make sure I don't skip out on anything this time. So first of all, before we get into the books, I made it to 2,000 subscribers, so thank you all very much. I really do appreciate all the support, and yay! So I'm so happy. So I would like to do a giveaway. I don't know how to do a giveaway, but I'll figure that out later. So here's the giveaway. If you watch this video, like it, and comment on it. Now in the comment, you got to tell me what you... So here's the deal. I'm going to pick two winners, okay? One of them, you can either choose, the first winner will get to choose either. You have $25 towards anything in my store, and then I'll do with free shipping. So all my stuff says plus shipping. Not for you. Free shipping. You have $25 towards anything in the store, or you can take what's in the box. So you can either have, red snapper, very nice fish, or what's in the box. You know the red snapper a reference there. If you do, put that in the comments too. You'll get extra credit points for that. $25 or what's in the box. So yeah, right now there's nothing in the box, but I do know what's going to be put in the box. Now you don't know what's going to be in the box. I sell a lot of books. I sell some hats. I sell some records. I got a bunch of okra growing in the backyard. You never know exactly what could be in the box. So if you know the UHF reference, I just said the movie that it was from. You didn't catch that. If you know the reference to the movie, don't worry. It won't be what was in the movie. So that is very exciting. So again, if you want to be part of the giveaway on this video, like it, comment whether you'll take the $25 or the box. And then I'll pick one winner, and whatever they choose, that's what they get. And then I'll pick another winner, and they'll get whatever the first winner didn't choose. So the first winner wants the box, the second winner gets $25. The first winner wants $25, the second winner will get what's in the box. I think that'll be fun. So anyways, what's next after that? But if I didn't mention enough, I really do want to say thank you to everyone. I've gotten about 35 new subscribers since the last video. Wonderful. I just really appreciate all the new subscribers. I really appreciate all the people that have been here since the very beginning and are still here. A lot of you, that's awesome. And I really do appreciate all of you. So, the other thing I've got going on before we get into the books is the new thing I've been doing. So any hat that I'm wearing in a video, I've got listed on my website. On eBay. And if you as a viewer would like the hat, $5 for you. All right. And so I actually sold the hat in the last video, sold to a viewer, and not just a viewer, but actually a coworker who's a friend of mine. And she bought it because it's one that said Hardin Feed Store and had a chicken on it. And she is one of those, those the crazy cat ladies. Well, she's the crazy chicken lady, which you may know that type also. But that's her. She's even got her own web YouTube channel. And she started off her YouTube channel because of me. So she borrowed a book on raising chickens. And then that got her into it. So she started raising chickens. I told her, hey, you should make your own little YouTube channel about it. So she does that. I'll link it here if you're interested in chickens. She's got some pretty funny stuff up there. And so her YouTube channel is called Cluckin Around. But she bought my hat, and so I was pretty excited about that. And so if you would like this hat, this is from the Wyoming Trout Unlimited, and that is a cowboy riding on a fish right there. Who wouldn't want a cowboy riding on a fish on top of their head, right? Pretty fancy. So I'm going to list this on eBay. If you want it, just send me an offer, $5. Say, hey, I'm a subscriber. I saw your video, and it'd be $5, and I will accept the offer. And that's it for the prelims. Now for the finals. Now what we're really here for. All right. This, I didn't write down what this is going to cover. I believe this is August 16th through the end of August. You see how far behind I am. I would need to start I would like to get to where I'm doing it weekly. And now that the Astros are out of the playoffs, and marching band season is over for my daughter, I actually get home at a decent time, and I don't have anything to do. So I'm hopefully, until, for a while, I'll be able to make the videos more often. That's my plan. I've said it so many times. I shouldn't even say it again, but I'm going to really try to catch up and then do it on a weekly thing. Although this week would be a terrible one because I haven't sold squat. It's been terrible. I mean, really awful sales this week. Nothing today. Like 2 $10 books yesterday. Nothing the day before that. I had like nothing over the weekend. Maybe one sale. It's really been... It's been terrible. So, but this time period, for what I'm going to talk about right now, was pretty good. I had a total of 40 sales. So, sit back for 40 sales. And a lot of them are good ones. So, you're going to want to stick around. You can kind of, go make yourself a sandwich during these first ones because they're not real exciting sales. But after a couple minutes, you're going to want to come back and catch up on the rest of them. Of the 40 sales, 31 are books. 9 are not books. So if you're here for the not books, this is a great video for you. All right. Are we ready? Yes, we are. All right, here we go. First thing that sold is a Q-Link SIM card. I've still got a stack of these, and they sell. It's one thing that I sell free shipping. And every time I sell one, it's super easy, and I get a couple bucks. So I'm glad that they are still selling. I'm surprised that they are. And the next one was also another not a book. The first DVD. There's other DVDs. So this is the first one called Hard to Hold. And it sold for $8.50. So, take that. And then we have St. John Back Time Eyewitness Accounts, sold for $9. Anything that I sell for under $10, I didn't list it for that much. I probably listed it for $10 and either sent out a 10% off offer or took an offer or something like that. My goal is not to list anything under $10, except for the Q-Link cards, the SIM cards. Those are $7.75. Yeah. But everything else I'll do $10. And I don't even pick up anything if I'm gonna have to list it for less than that. And then, real quickly, I get my books almost entirely from the Goodwill bins up in Houston, 2 for $1, so 50 cents each. There's a couple other little thrift stores. There's one that near where I work, which is in Clute, which is near Lake Jackson. And that I pick up books there on occasion, but they don't have very many hats. They get pretty good hats, but they don't have very many books. So almost entirely nowadays, it's Goodwill bins in Houston. So the next one was a book called Como Dijo for $10. So I do sell books in Spanish fairly regularly. I would not shy away from those at all. If you pick some up, both fiction, nonfiction, things in Spanish do sell. I send a lot of things to Puerto Rico. Yeah. Although I think this one went to Mexico, actually. But I do sell a lot of things to Puerto Rico. And then this next one, Release Your Regain, the Bariatric Mindset, sold for $10. Any kind of medical book, a kind of a guides on surviving diabetes, cancer, or after bariatric surgery, things like that, can sell pretty well. And then another good genre, you're always going to look at study guides. Here's a TSI study guide, so for $12. Another nice thing about study guides is when I sell them, I'm assuming they're going to get used, or else I wouldn't be buying this thing. So I'm not too concerned about keeping it in pristine condition. So I don't put it in a box. Study guides, I usually will just put in a bubble mailer. Sometimes depending on how big if it just fits, I'll put it in the bubble mailer. Sometimes I'll put a bubble wrap around it, one sheet of bubble wrap around, then in the bubble mailer. But if it's what's called a consumable, it means they're going to write in it, they're going to use it. It's not going to sit on the shelf. It's not to be collected. It's not to be gifted, more than likely. Then I just put it in a bubble mailer. The next one is Popeye, the First 50 Years. So for $12, now here's an example of one that somebody who buys this, it would be probably collectible, and they would like to make sure it's in good condition. So this is one, even though it's only a $12 book, I did put it in a box, and I bubble wrap it, put it in a box, make sure it gets there safely. Just because I figure someone's got this for their collection. All right, then we have The Tales of Mystery and Imagination by Edgar Allan Poe. You'll notice on this list of books especially, there are a lot of classics. And as I mentioned in my last video, I'm tending to sell more and more vintage and older books. And that's just because I'm at the Goodwill bins. And there's a lot of competition there. So I have a lot of people who are rushing in and grabbing up everything. And often they are Amazon sellers, and they're just looking for newer books that they can scan and send off to Amazon. So I'm left with a lot of often very valuable books, but often a little harder to sell sometimes are the older books. And so I'm picking up a lot more. I'm coming home with a lot more older material, it seems, lately, over the past 6 months or so. And you'll notice that here there are a lot of vintage books that I'm selling here. Next we have Strongman's His Name. This is a religious book. I've actually sold other of this series called Strongman. Strongman's His Name. I forget the other one I sold was Strongman in it, but it's some kind of religious book. So religious books, always look those up. They are probably the best selling genre that I have. Another good one, CBT Toolbox for Depressed, Anxious, Suicidal Children and Adolescents, sold for $13.50. Another very good genre is dealing with depression, anxiety, things like that, especially dealing with children who have these conditions. That's sells very well also. Another DVD. This is a pretty good one, $15 for Blade Runner DVD. It might have been a Blu-ray. I can't remember now. But anyways, it did sell for $15. And music sheets. Not music sheets, but music anthologies. So like the tablature or the piano music for an entire album is how they're often sold. So this was Three Doors Down, The Better Life. And this was the music for that. I guess that's an album. It's over $15, but I sell a lot of things like that. So it's just, or it could be the Eagles or anthology or Bon Jovi, and it just have the music, piano music, guitar music, and the lyrics. And that's a really, I always pick those up. They'll sell country music, rock music, mostly those two genres there. The next one is an album. So I have started selling more and more albums. I've been doing pretty well with these. I have a bunch I sell to the list. I'm learning a lot about albums and how to grade them and how to rate them and which ones sell and which ones don't, and how to photograph them and how to clean them and all this kind of stuff. So This was a Luther Vandross, Never Too Much vinyl album, sold for $15. So again, Goodwill bins for albums to any kind of media there is 2 for $1. So this would have been 50 cents. Then we're moving on to another copy of Edgar Allan Poe's Vintage Tales of Mystery and Imagination. Sold 2 different copies of that different book. I mean, different publisher and all, but also sold for $15. And then we sold The Border Within, Economics of Immigration in an Age of Fear, sold for $15. And then another genre that I do pretty well with are musical studies. So this was for cello. This is Popper, 40 Studies for High School Cello, sold for $18.50. And then we have another Not a Book. So this was, I sold this one for, I'm looking up that there because I have some more up there. This is Slide Rules. So my wife is a math teacher, and a co-worker of hers retired last year, and when they cleaned out the classroom, they came across a whole bunch of slide rules in the closet, and they're going to get tossed out. So my wife took them, brought them home, and I've been selling them. So I sold this one for $19. It's a nice slide rule. It came with a leather case and a little booklet. I sold one for $19, and I sold another one for $20. So, and I've got 5 left up there. So I've sold several of them, but all the ones that came with the instruction book have sold. The remaining ones I don't think have the instruction book. Then we have a AP Spanish book, which sold for $20. That a lot of the high school chemistry, English books, things like that, I don't even hardly look at them anymore. But the foreign language books can still sell. I don't know if this would be high school or college, but if you find AP French, German, Spanish, those I do sell those pretty regularly. And then we have another album. This was Depeche Mode. This was Some Great Reward, sold for $20. And then one of my favorite albums of all time, Yaz, Upstairs at Eric's. Love it. And it sold for $20 as well. Then this next book, The American Reed Organ, sold for $20. Books about, well, I don't know if organs would be a good genre or not. I really don't. There aren't that many out there, but it'd be worth looking up any kind of old musical instruments on either about them, how to repair them. That's what this book is more about. It's kind of like a catalog of all the different organ types and the nomenclature involved with organs and stuff like that. Then we have another study guide, a GED study guide. This one I did throw in a box because it was going off to the Mariana Islands. I have shipped several books to the Mariana Islands. And it's funny because when you ship to Puerto Rico, there's no customs form required. And because Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States. So is the Mariana Islands. So you have Guam, American Samoa, there's a few others. But there is a customs form is required when you send to the Mariana Islands. But it's done on eBay, and you just fill it out best you can. And when you print it out, it won't let you then, if you go, like from where I go to drop my packages off, there's a kiosk out, in the lobby of the post office, and I can boop, 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 just boop them in, and then drop them in the box. I'm good. But that one you want. It actually specifically has directions on it that say must be handed to a postal employee. So you got to wait in line, go through there, they'll scan it in, and it's always been fine. Everything's always reached the destination, but it's just kind of funny that even though it is a U.S. territory, they require a customs form when you're shipping to the Mariana Islands. But eBay knows that, and so it's all done. If you're buying your shipping label through eBay, it's done automatically there. If you're doing it on your own, you might just have to fill one out at the post office, I guess. But you don't have to when it's going to Puerto Rico. So I'm not sure. I've never sold anything to Guam or American Samoa, or what is the other one? U.S. Virgin Islands. I believe those are the 5 populated territories. There may be more. I don't know. Anyhow, the next one is another education book, all about reading, level 3, sold for $20. And then we had another album. So this was a Rolling Stones album called Exile to Main Street, and it sold for $25. So, all right, we're almost to the end of column 1. We're getting to $25, so it's just going up from here. The next one was a nice book called The Principal Game Birds and Mammals of Texas, sold for $25. The recipes were not included in that one. Then moving on, we have the American Political Thought Readings and Materials, sold for $25 as well. Hit and miss category, politics. There seems to be so many books written on politics, and some of them, they may have printed 78 million of them, and others they didn't, so it just depends. So it's worth looking at, but often books about politicians, about politics, they're not worth picking up. More obscure, esoteric sides of politics, yeah, that's where you're going to find the value. And the next book is called Corporate Governance Matters, sold for $25. Another very niche kind of a market there. So the more unusual, the more likely things are to sell. Always keep that in mind. When I first started off thinking, what am I going to sell? And I would think it would be popular fiction. Everybody wants that. You know, it's the more unusual titles are the ones that are going to sell more than likely. With plenty of exceptions to what I just said, but anyhow. Next we have Process Design for Reliable Operations, sold for $25. I believe this is about chemical plant processes, process design. So around where I live, there are a lot of chemical plants. There's Dow and Schlumberger and Olin and all kinds of other companies right in this area. So I find a lot of books on process technology and oil refining and things like that. So often know what your local industries are, and you'll find those books near where you live, and people will want them. So somebody's done with it, but somebody else is going to be right there who's going to need that same book. So always know what's going on in your area, because those are going to be books that you probably want to pick up. Higher Education Law, sold for $25. And then we have another classic fiction book, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, which sold for $27. And let's see, coming up next, we have Financial Accounting for MBAs, sold for $30. Business books, hit and miss, but this was a pretty good hit right there. The Development of Children and Adolescents, sold for $35. So again, this is another one on that, social emotional learning or things like that. So the development of adolescents and children, that's a good genre to always look up. This is a nice Easton Press Great Aviators book. I held on to this one for a long time. I'm glad it sold. And it is a large book, so had to kind of fashion a couple boxes together to ship it, but it sold for $40, and it was a beautiful book. A Norton Anthology of Drama sold for $40. I'm surprised that the Norton anthologies are still a thing. I've still got some Norton anthologies from when I was in college, 30 years ago. Good Lord, it's been 30 years. How old am I? Yeah. Wow, over 30 years ago. I have Norton anthologies of music and literature on my shelf still. And now they're still selling Norton anthologies. So that's kind of cool. The next one was Texas, The Rise, Progress, and Prospects of the Republic. Sold for $45. No matter where you are in the country, always pick up books on Texas history. Texas people just go nuts about Texas stuff. So especially about history, anything that sounds like exceptionalism, anything along those lines, Texans are going to want to buy it. That was $45. Algebra, college algebra and trigonometry books over $49. I've mentioned this before, but with college textbooks, always look them up. But there's always there's the gap, right? You have the new ones are worth a ton of money. The slightly older ones are worth nothing until they get back far enough to where they're collectible. So you have like a 20, 30-year gap of just worthless textbooks. And then you get ones that are collectible, or else they're seminal works, or they're well-known authors who went on to do other things. And then you pick those up. Or the new ones that are currently being used are the ones that are going to have often the most value. Moving on. Okay. This is, I don't even know what this is for, but it's APICS from 2021 CPIM learning systems. That could have something to do with the chemical plants around here. I don't know, but it's over $75. That surprised me because it said it's from 2021. So this is 2023. But maybe maybe it's not something that's updated every year. So it was in great shape. It looked new. I went ahead and scanned it. I wasn't expecting it to be it's one of these that I was expecting, there to be $4 free shipping all over eBay, but it wasn't. So this one, like I said, sold for $75. All right, we're down to our last two sales. The next one is a lot of Dawn Divine Brown books on belly dancing. I will not belly dance for you. Sorry. There's a book on the outfits and belly dancing and on something else. So that was a good genre. I was pretty surprised about the value that these books had. They were not large books. They're almost pamphlet-ish. But $80 for the 3 Dawn Divine Brown belly dancing books. And then the big sale of this time period was this one, Behold a Pale Horse. So this sold for $110, and it is not in that great a shape. And so if you get one of these, there are different versions. So you'll always see when they're listed, they'll tell you how many pages there are. So you want to make sure you have how many pages yours has. There's uncorrected proofs. There's a lot of different variations on this book. And I happened to get one that was the more valuable variation. This is even somebody had taped over the whole front cover. And, I guess, I don't know, just to protect it or whatever. But so it was not in pristine condition by any stretch of the imagination, and still brought in $110. So definitely one you will find. This is the true definition of a bolo. Be on the lookout for, because you will see these out and about. But just know, just because you find one doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the $110 one. It may be the other version, which I don't know if that was an earlier or probably a later version or a different publisher or something. So you want to make sure that before you put it for sale that you're looking at the right things. Just kind of look at the other listings and make sure that yours matches up with how many pages there were. And also something about some of the ads in the back, I think, that were specific to this edition. So where does that leave us? That was 31 books for $890 for a $28.71 average, which is above my random and completely arbitrary figure of $25 that I consider a good sales period. And then my Nada books, I was like, we're heavy on Nada books. So I could probably go a little lower on my average since we have a lot of them. And so I was really gunning for a $16.67 average. And I nailed it once again. I did. I was surprised, but it did. I had 9 sales for $150, which averages to $16.67. So all total, 40 sales for $1,040, which is a pretty good chunk of change, I do believe. So that's it for this video. I apologize for being so long. I'm seeing it's running up to 30 minutes, and I'm not going to edit any of it out. So if you like the hat's yours for $5. If you would like to be part of the giveaway, just like and comment and leave a comment, and then just tell me, would you want the what did I say, $25? Or what's in the box? And I'll pick 2 winners. First winner gets to choose, and the second winner would be whatever the other one doesn't choose. So, thank you all for the support. Thank you for getting me to 2,000 subscribers. That's so fun. I love saying that. That's awesome. Now I'm at the point where when I mention to somebody that I have a YouTube channel, I say, yeah, I've got like 2,000 subscribers. They go, oh, wow. You know, so I'm kind of at that point now, which is fun. Anyhow, hey, I hope you are selling the heck out of a bunch of stuff. And I will see you sooner, hopefully sooner rather than later. Adios.